Welcome to One on One. Today we feature General David Petraeus, Commander Multinational Force Iraq. Listen in as he talks with our Gail McCabe.
The 3 R's are obviously where we're trying to go. We're trying to get to reconciliation, trying to help to foster local level reconciliation, and then over time the achievement of reconciliation at the national level. But all of this, all the 3 R's, reconstruction and so forth, all depend first and foremost on security. And what you see right here today is a good example of that. An area that you remember, that I remember from almost a year ago, a very, very dangerous place, an area where we certainly would not have walked like this, and if we had, we would have found no shops open, no playgrounds, no schools.
Safe to say all of this is based on the success of the surge.
The security has been a result, certainly, of more coalition forces and more Iraqi forces. Let's not forget that there's been an Iraqi surge ongoing that has seen the addition just in 2007 of over 110,000 additional Iraqi police and Iraqi soldiers. But it's also the employment of those forces. Our leaders and our troopers living among the population that they're securing together with their Iraqi partners, gaining the trust and confidence of the Iraqi people, and then ultimately the support of the Iraqi people, to the point that those people are turning in the bad guys in their midst, are pointing out the weapons caches, are identifying the improvised explosive devices, and ultimately are volunteering to help with security as neighborhood watch concerned local citizens and so on.
Is there a part of the surge that didn't work?
Well, I don't know that there would be a part of the surge that hasn't worked, in truth. I think that what has happened is there have been parts of the surge that worked maybe better than we expected, or just emerged, and we took advantage of opportunities.
Every time we come here, I ask you the question, who is the enemy? You've done a lot to chase Al-Qaeda of Iraq out of Baghdad. Who's the enemy today?
Al-Qaeda Iraq still is in Baghdad, and let's not forget that Al-Qaeda Iraq is still intent on reigniting ethno-sectarian violence, on carrying out acts of horrific violence, of damaging the infrastructure, and of killing innocent Iraqis, and going after us certainly still. But it remains a very, very potent enemy, an enemy that does adapt. It's a thinking enemy that does get some reinforcements, although at diminished levels, still out there trying to kill us, to kill Iraqi security forces, and to kill anyone else who does not subscribe to their very extremist ideology. That is, of course, what's turned the Sunni Arab population against Al-Qaeda Iraq over the course of the last year. That is what has made their job more difficult and has led different neighborhoods to reject them over time, as they have seen that Al-Qaeda has brought them nothing but literally death, destruction, and oppression. But having said that about Al-Qaeda, clearly there are other enemies. Certainly militia extremists, especially these special groups as they're called, that have over time been trained, funded, equipped, and even directed by Iran, have caused enormous damage in Baghdad and in other parts of Iraq.
What about Muqtada al-Sadr?
Well, I think everyone is asking what is it that Muqtada al-Sadr is pursuing right now. It does appear to us, because of the ceasefire, because of the announcements supporting reconciliation among Sunni and Shia and Arabs and Kurds and all other elements of the Iraqi society, that there is a desire to remove some of the blemishes, the tarnish on that particular movement because of the violence that was caused in Karbala, because of the assassination of southern governors that carried out by some of their forces and the special groups linked to their militia, because of some of the other criminal actions that elements of the Jaish al-Mahdi have carried out. And so there seems to be a sincere desire to clean up the movement, again, to remove the stains that have accrued over the course of the past year.
So your challenge these days is governance still?
The challenges are to build on the gains in security, to try to turn situations that are still transitory, are still tenuous, into a degree that has more permanence, that is more self-sustaining, certainly to revive local economies, to get markets going again, to help ministries, restore schools, all of the above, literally, again, acting with our ministry and embassy partners, and certainly our Iraqi counterparts in the police and army in all that we do.
I talked to a soldier before I came over here, and I asked him, what would you ask General Petraeus if you had the chance? He wanted to know if you would be able to sustain the security after the troops start coming home from the surge.
I would not have made the recommendations I did to President Bush, the chain of command, and explained to Congress back in September if I didn't believe that. So far we have in fact withdrawn a brigade combat team and the Marine Expeditionary Unit already. There will be 4 additional brigade combat teams and 2 Marine battalions withdrawn between now and the end of July. We believe we have a solid plan for that. There will be more tough moments, having said that. There will be more bad days. We have to continue to go after al-Qaeda to make sure that safe havens that they try to establish are not allowed to exist and can't grow. It will not be easy, but we believe that we can indeed continue to build on what we've accomplished so far.
You have a bit of a momentum going here. Is there going to be some sort of turning point in your mind when the momentum will continue and can't be turned back?
We've said on a number of occasions, I think, that we wouldn't know that there was a turning point until we were 6 months past it, and we wouldn't announce it until we were at least a year past it. A lot of us have sworn off words like optimism or pessimism, and we just use the word realism. And the reality is that Iraq is very, very hard. It's going to remain very hard, and it's going to take determination, persistence, additional resources, additional time, and occasionally sheer force of will.
I get the impression that you're serving as an example that this is going to come down to relationships.
Well, I think relationships are of enormous importance no matter what you're doing. We do indeed underscore the importance of relationships. We often note in places like the Counterinsurgency Center when I speak there or elsewhere the huge importance of establishing relations that become so strong that at the end of the day, if all of your other logic fails, you can say, please just do it for me. Just do it because I am asking. Your Siddiqui, your friend, your Habibi, your Ahuya, your brother, whatever. And that's important. Now, you have to remember that if you reach that point in a relationship with your Iraqi brother, that he can then turn around and ask the same thing of you. Yes. But relationships are what this is all about. I think in truth, relationships are what everything is all about, whether it's our own home life or international relations. And all we're trying to do is, sort of one handshake at a time or one smile at a time, one beanie baby at a time, to add a little bit of strength to those relationships.
You've been listening to a one-on-one with General David Petraeus, Commander, Multinational Force, Iraq.